After the escalation of India-Pakistan tensions, India prominently deployed the Vikrant aircraft carrier to the Arabian Sea for exercises, and even attempted to approach Pakistan for deterrence. However, Pakistan subsequently designated an exercise zone, conducted missile tests, and sent J-10 and JF-17 fighter jets to patrol. The Indian carrier then seemed to vanish from the spotlight, becoming a major laughingstock. In this video, we will briefly analyze whether India's aircraft carriers have any combat capability. No matter how you look at it, India's two aircraft carriers, each costing billions of dollars, with carrier-based aircraft, weapons, ammunition, research, development, construction, and refit costs included, likely exceed $10 billion in total. For a developing country, this is undoubtedly a massive investment. Even if they are subpar, they must have some combat capability. However, the awkward reality is that India's two carriers are ill-timed. In the past, India relied on outdated second-hand British carriers to achieve some results in India-Pakistan wars. Back then, Pakistan had virtually no navy. Its air force was poorly equipped and small in scale, with no ability to counter India, making it purely a punching bag. But now, Pakistan is equipped with American F-16 fighters, Chinese J-10C fighters, and jointly developed JF-17 fighters with China, fitted with advanced air-to-air missiles like the PL-15 and anti-ship missiles. On the naval front, Pakistan has multiple submarines, particularly those imported from China, whose advanced technology far surpasses India's anti-submarine capabilities. Additionally, Pakistan operates China's Type 054A frigates, equipped with numerous advanced anti-ship missiles. While Pakistan struggles to compete with India in open waters, in coastal combat, supported by shore-based anti-ship weapons and its air force, India's carriers are sitting ducks. I can simply state the conclusion. If Indian Navy surface ships dare to approach Pakistan's coast, they will certainly be heavily damaged, and it's highly likely an aircraft carrier could be directly sunk. The reason is straightforward. India has only two aircraft carriers. The Vikramaditya is a light carrier converted by Russia from a former Soviet cruiser, with a poor foundation. Russia's declining military industry, coupled with the fact that it wasn't built for their own use, meant the Russians didn't take its construction seriously. This carrier has suffered multiple major accidents, including boiler explosions and fires, making its survival to this day a miracle. Meanwhile, India's domestically developed Vikrant, which underwent 3 launch ceremonies, is the biggest shipbuilding joke in human history. During sea trials, it exhibited noticeable pitching, indicating insufficient power or flaws in the ship's design. The two carriers combined carry just over 30 aircraft, all outdated MiG-29K fighters, whose radar, fire control systems, and missiles are far inferior to Pakistan's J-10C, F-16, and JF-17 fighters. Moreover, these carrier-based aircraft, produced in small batches and customized for India, face severe part shortages, resulting in low operational readiness. India's MiG-29K fighters frequently crash, and it's hard to say how many are combat-ready now. Indian military enthusiasts love to boast about their BrahMos missile, a cruise missile developed with Russia, which is practically a cure-all in India, used by the Army, Navy, and Air Force. To be blunt, it's a showpiece, lacking specialized applications. Compared to China's YJ series anti-ship missiles, it's insignificant, and even the Russians don't want to equip it. For years, India's military equipment has been a hodgepodge, sourced from Russia, France, Israel, the US, and domestic development. These weapons vary widely in models and logistical standards, making it difficult to replenish losses effectively in combat. Essentially, each piece lost is gone for good. India's industrial capacity is backward, incapable of producing any core components. If war breaks out, China is likely to halt exports of any military-related raw materials or parts to India, even dual-use ones, which would be an absolute disaster for India. In contrast, Pakistan, backed by China, the world's factory, can efficiently replenish war losses. Don't forget, India must also divert forces to guard against China, which has heavy investments and deep strategic interests in Pakistan, refusing to let Pakistan lose. Most Arabian Sea coastal nations are Islamic, and Turkey has already voiced support for Pakistan, setting a precedent among Islamic countries. Israel's support for India has angered Islamic nations like Saudi Arabia, major financial backers of Pakistan. In a war, the US and Israel, far from India, would offer at most verbal encouragement. Meanwhile, Pakistan could receive tangible support from China, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey. If India's carriers attempt to blockade Pakistan's coast, it would severely threaten China's shipping routes, potentially prompting China to intervene directly and decisively deal with India. Even if China doesn't intervene directly, simply deploying air and air defense forces to secure Pakistan's rear, jamming India's satellite signals, and providing Pakistan with China's military-grade encrypted Beidou signals could easily tilt the battlefield against India. Regardless, for the US and Israel, India is merely a pawn to counter adversaries, not worth fighting for. For China, Pakistan is a core interest, not to be lost. For Islamic nations, Pakistan is the only openly nuclear-armed Islamic country, while India has a notorious record of violating Muslim interests, ensuring strong Islamic support for Pakistan. Given the current situation, maintaining peace is in India's interest because India lacks the capacity to fight a high-intensity modern war. Don't be fooled by Hindu nationalists' domestic rhetoric. India is not united. Hindus make up less than half the population and often oppress minorities. If a full-scale war breaks out, especially if it provokes Chinese intervention, India as a nation could cease to exist. Honestly, whether India's carriers are capable will be clear in this conflict. If they were truly formidable, India's officials would have already been boasting. Hopefully, in the future, when Bharat netizens brag about their carriers, they won't forget their performance in this crisis.